Really, the crux of your question is if you look at what Chief Alvin, certainly my successor, General Tabor, the A8, have to deal with right now, is that the Air Force, there's not a lot of flexibility. Every year the DepSecDef puts out what they call a DPG, a defense planning guidance, that says this is where you're going to invest for your POM, your program objective memorandum, your 5-year budget, essentially. And that's very prescriptive. Here's where you're going to put your money. And if you look at it, you're going to fund the nuclear enterprise. And then you go CivPERS, your civilian personnel budget, MilPERS, all your bases, your weapons system sustainment account. When I left, that was gusting $20 billion a year because of our aging weapon systems. You start adding together everything that you have to invest in. Really, what the chief is left with is like single-digit percent. And not high single-digit percent of what really he can play around with. So when you say, okay, cut 8%, you're cutting a huge amount. And inside that single-digit percent, big programs live, like the F-35 and other things. So it makes it very, very tough when they say, we're going to ask you to cut 5%, 8%, 10%. There's really not many places to go. This gets into, when companies come in and they got a thing that we can use. And we all look at it as military people go, oh my God, we can absolutely use that. Well, they start with AFWERX and in the AFRL, the Air Force Research Labs, and they get into an AFWERX contract, SBIRS 1, maybe SBIRS 2, and there's some money there to kind of get started. Now, how do you get that into the Air Force program? Every year, I would have 100, 200, 300 of these things that were so incredible. And I may be going forward 3 or 4 of them to put into the budget because that's just where the budget was. And then I'll tell you, other things hit you at the end. You think you have it perfectly, and then gas prices go up. Well, the Air Force is the single largest user in government of fuel. Big airplanes take big gas. And so I got to budget more money for gas. And the SecDef comes out and said, we're going to give a raise to the troops. Right thing to do. Our youngest enlisted are woefully underpaid. But I'll tell you, that is big money. The joke was when you're a programmer, when you're the A8, they go, you've truly become a good programmer when you hate your own pay raise and you watch your own weapon system, the F-15 go to the boneyard and you help it along.